Hey everybody, it's your favorite cybernetic gaming goose. That's my new channel thing. I somehow managed to lock myself out of my house for an hour today. That was a goddamn nightmare. I just wanted to make a short video with probably no editing whatsoever to talk about a topic that's been on my mind lately. I've addressed it in some comments on my YouTube channel recently. I've also mentioned it in my videos, so if you follow more than one of them, this is regarding Stoneshard, by the way. Stoneshard negativity, so just short and simple. Is Stoneshard dead? No. Do I hate Stoneshard? No. Do I think people have a right to hate Stoneshard? I'm gonna try and put this as shortly as I can because I tend to ramble. My opinion on this is that people very well have a right to be mad, as the Kickstarter for this game was on May 15th, 2018. I don't know if that means it's when it concluded or started. Given the Reddit posts, I'm assuming it's when it started. I'm not gonna check because I don't care. Haha. Ooh, oh, that's funny. Funny guy here. My main thing is that when it comes to negativity with Stoneshard, I get comments like these that are like, is Stoneshard dead? I don't know how to even explain my frustration at this. The negative reviews on Steam and the, I guess I'll say haters, detractors, whatever, they've gone so far that I consider it almost like lying. The problem isn't that the game is dead. The problem is that the development is dead slow. And when people say this game may never be finished, they have a pretty valid point. It's like saying, will Tarkov be finished? Who knows? When you have a 4-year dev cycle for a game, let's just say that's like the industry standard. That's what they did in the 90s, right? Hypothetically, I'm thinking like Half-Life here or something. I don't know. I've seen a lot of games where it seems to be like 3 or 4 years for these kind of like really innovative small team games that, you know, were a thing. These John Romero projects. It's pretty reasonable to expect that the game will ship because it is 4 years. That is kind of a long time, but it's not as long in the grand scheme of things as a decade, right? So if I'm saying Stoneshard is halfway to taking a decade to release, yeah, people can have heart attacks, people can have life-changing events, circumstances. I try to not rant about this a lot, but one thing that affected the dev cycle of the game was the war in Ukraine. I mentioned it in a video. I think it was like split between Kiev and somewhere in Russia. There were like 2 studios or something, or 2 groups of people. So like crazy stuff like that. And I think that does give them a real reason as to why it slowed down, right? But I still think this is gonna sound really evil. I'm sorry. It doesn't really work as an excuse. The problem I have is that I have other games that are way lower key with way less devs, like Regiments, Armored Commander 2. I could probably take a day and make a video of just all the small little games I have on Steam that have so much potential and I love them so much. And I compare them to Stoneshard and I go, wait a minute, no, this isn't normal. Now, Stoneshard isn't like any other game on the market. The closest games would be something like maybe Zero Cyber. I don't even know. It's a very niche genre, right? So I don't know what to expect. This is a whole new thing. They have their own combat system, their own health system. It's really a mashup of a bunch of genres that I love. So like, let's compare it to Stalker. I do that all the time. Stalker had a crazy life cycle too. Maybe this type of game is just really complex and takes a long time, okay? But the thing is that for the end user, the person that paid their money, maybe they don't want to wait 5 years for a game. You can go and buy a really good game now for like 20 bucks. It's being bundled right now on the Steam store page with Quasimorph, which I know has a Seth review. I don't know much about that game, but let's say hypothetically, that game's just done, right? And then you have Stoneshard, which is this kind of, I don't want to say ugly duckling, but it has this negative association because of all the negative reviews it's getting saying, run, it's never going to be finished. I don't know what Inky Stains can do about this because in my head, I've made up my mind that my perception of Ink Stain, I'm sorry if I'm wrong by this, I'm not using hard evidence for this, okay? This is a very emotional judgment. My perception of Ink Stains is that they have made up their mind. They are stubborn. They are not going to change for the fans. It doesn't matter how many fans complain, talk about how they're going to permanently switch to mods, the game sucks or whatever. I don't think they're going to change. So I think unfortunately we're in a situation where you've got to just kind of wait and see. And I don't know how to recommend Stoneshard to people really, because this person, they sent me a comment like, is this game dead? And it's like, no, it's not dead. And if you play it, you'll probably get at least 10 to 20 hours, which my rule when I used to be, not like poor, but you know, when I was younger, I didn't really have a lot of money. I used to have a rule. I would do an hour per dollar I paid. So if I paid $60 for a game, I would play it for 60 hours. It didn't matter if I hated that game, I would do that, which is what caused me to start buying games on sale and stuff like that. Because do you really want to spend 60 hours playing a game you hate? No, you know, refund it or whatever, right? Maybe sometimes I didn't do it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the games I actually broke that rule with. I think For Honor was one of them. But yeah, this is a really rambly one. I think I stated it in the open. I just want to restate my feelings on this clearly. Stoneshard is a good game. It is a frustrating game. I don't think I necessarily agree with all the decisions the devs make. I think the devs are developing at kind of a leisurely pace because they want to make sure everything's perfect. An old saying is that perfect is the enemy of good, but God knows I struggle with that myself. Even just making silly YouTube videos, which is a lot easier than making an indie game in a genre that kind of doesn't exist or really have many precedents, right? I think maybe you should look at gameplay to determine whether this is the type of game you like, because if you like this type of game, it will scratch that itch, and even though it's procedurally generated, you will get your money's worth of time out of it. The problem is that completing Stoneshard is really not fun and fulfilling. I remember the first time I actually sat through Call of Pripyat, maybe 2 or 3 years after I'd initially tried the game. That was a feeling that I don't know how to explain. It will stick with me for the rest of my life. Maybe that's pathetic to say, but I'm being 100% genuine when I say that. I was, I think it was break. I was alone in my college dorm. I didn't have much to do. I was off my classes. At the moment, something was happening. My friends lived out of state. Didn't have too many people to talk to. I just played Stalker, and it is a mood. When it's raining at night and you're playing Stalker and you finally get through Pripyat, you feel like you've accomplished something, right? For me, Stoneshard does not really give a feeling of accomplishment. I always feel like I am playing Stoneshard in spite of the game itself, and I've kind of tried to make that enjoyable. This is super cringe to say, but I've mentioned it on stream when I play Stoneshard. I don't take my time at all. I try to like rush through and play it like some sort of weird speed chess because I think that's entertaining. Me sitting around not doing anything for 5 minutes, not talking, really thinking over a move is not as funny as me dying. I guess that's just how I feel. But when I'm playing by myself, I can find Stoneshard really rewarding, but I've never felt a sense of accomplishment for progressing the story, right? Like, does that make sense? Like when you progress the story, you get your cart, you go to Manshire, you go to Bryn. To me, that's nothing. I don't feel anything. I don't even feel accomplishment. It just feels like the game was kind of screwing me over and I succeeded in spite of that. That's what it feels like. Actually, the most... I think one of the most fulfilling things for me was doing the alternate outcome of the brewery quest, because I used to just slaughter them every time, and it was like, screw you, Odar. That actually gave me a weird sense where I like felt connected to the story, and then it just kind of drops because there's nothing after that. It's not like Fallout New Vegas where you're gonna go there and, you know, there's gonna be changes every time, or it's a longer quest line or anything. That's it. You're done. Odar will just keep talking to you, which is fine. I'm sorry. I feel like I have to keep putting on disclaimers. That kind of stuff not being like my favorite or all there does not make this a crap game, okay? Stoneshard has a very fun gameplay loop. It has fun combat. It is a cool healing mechanic. I kind of like the way the skills work. I kind of agree with a Reddit post I saw about the passives being removed. That kind of ruined it a bit. Not ruined it, but made it weird. But Stoneshard has problems, right? So I don't know when we're even going to see the other factions. I don't know when we're going to have a playable elf character. I don't know when we're going to have a character creator. That's why I say, to me, my guess was that this update will come out in August. I don't know if it will. So this is a lot longer than I originally intended for this to be, but I hope you enjoyed it. More to come. I'm going to be focusing on Mech Warrior and Stoneshard in the near future. At least that's what I had made up my mind to do. Let's see if I could stick with it. Have a good night. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.